Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to check out the changes to the Maelstrom and Dragonstar Arena Weapons. There's now perfected versions, as you can see here. The Maelstrom's perfected Inferno stuff. And there's a lot more. I'm Alcast from alcasthq.com. Please make sure to subscribe and like the video. Previously, the difference is not that big, as you can see. The unique bonus is exactly the same. That's what they're doing with perfected versus imperfected weapons. The unique one will stay the same, and then they will just add another extra bonus. So how severe is it if you don't have that extra bonus? For example, on a Maelstrom, Inferno stuff, you use it on the back bar anyway. So the two-piece, like the extra penetration bonus, is not active most of the time anyway, because most builds are very front bar focused. So even if you don't have the perfected version, it's not that big of a loss. Now, a lot of people already gave feedback because it was kind of like a massacre, because you have to refarm these if you want to perfected Maelstrom or like Dragonstar Arena Weapons. Even if you already cleared Veteran, you will keep this thing. They're not going to change it to this one. And I personally don't like it, but I also don't think it's like that big of an issue, because again, like these extra effects don't really do a lot, because most of the times you run them on the back bar. Now that's not the case for everything. For example, when we are looking at maybe let me check the masters. We can also look at it on the patch notes. Let's see, Dragonstar Arena. So the caustic arrow, that's the bow. They actually buffed it by 30, and it gives now 100 free weapon damage. You use it on the back bar most of the time, so not that big of a deal. Destructive impact. This set now grants up to 600 spell damage. That's this one here. That's a lot. That's a lot of extra spell damage. It's only 4 seconds, but still, I'm actually surprised to see that it gets boosted by that much. This set now has a perfected version that grants up to 100 free. So you most likely will use this on the front bar, and there this bonus will actually matter, right? So it's even more. It's like 700 free extra spell damage that gets amped up by modifiers, so it's probably closer to 800. Very powerful. And the restoration stuff, this one grants up to 117 magic and stamina to the target affected, up from 100. That's the same, and then it adds 877 max magicka. So if you don't have the perfected one, not that big of a deal. Puncturing remedy, they boosted the heal like crazy, and 5 seconds. And Puncturing Remedy actually gives you the same resistance. Like, if you heal for 6k, you also get 6k resistance, if I recall correctly. So that's pretty juicy. Then the perfected bonus, 3% healing taken, so it doesn't matter whether you have perfect or imperfect. Stinging Slashes. This set now increases any instance of damage done with Twin Slashes by 2k. So I think the first hit also counts now, which previously did not. And it gives you a little bit more crit. So again, it's nice if you have the crit, but not like the world's end if you don't. Now, this here is the big one. This is like the Omega Lul what's going on. Titanic Cleave. Increase the stacking damage bonus to 1550, so that's a unique one. And now here, increase the target cap to 24. What? That's gonna be like, in PvP and PvE, trash mobs are gonna melt. I'm sure you can get like 200k damage takes or even higher. This is like crazy, but they also said they will monitor these changes to actually see whether it's too strong or not. And now here, the perfect bonus, it's kinda important because it's penetration. That increases your damage by a lot, and you will front bar this set if you use it. So it's kinda a must have, but again, for min-maxers it's a must-have. If you don't, at least like, if you can't do Veteran Dragonstar, or too lazy to regrind, then it's still good. But this one actually helps out because you run it on the front bar. Maelstrom Arena. Cruel Flurry. That's dual wield ones. They increase the weapon and spell damage to 1700, up from 1k. That's again a boost, but I think originally it used to be 3k, then they nerfed it to 2k, then they nerfed it to 1k, then they buffed it to 1.7k. So yeah. And it gives you 100 free weapon damage, which is beneficial because you will run these on the front bar if you use them. Crushing Wall, this is destruction stuff, increase the damage bonus of this set to 1353. I don't know. This set now has a perfected version, which grants up to 1190 spell penetration. You run this set on the back bar, so this doesn't really matter that much if you don't have it. Sure, again, you might lose maybe 1% damage, but that's about it. It's not a big loss. You don't have the perfected version. Merciless Charge increases damage done by this set to 10k over its duration, up from 7200. That's a two-hander, by the way. The damage done is now once again labeled as a bleed. You use this on your front bar, so the penetration here is actually very important. But again, if you don't have it, whatever. Precise Regeneration, that's the resto stuff. Decrease the magic granted from this set to 500, down from 800. Okay, but they removed the cooldown. And it gives you a crit bonus from the perfect. So the perfected, whatever, it doesn't matter if you have it or not. And I'm actually interested to see how this will... I mean, the magic granted is lower, but they removed the cooldown. Maybe? Well, we have to test. Well, let's see. Rampaging Slash. Decrease the magic and stamina restore from this set to 1904, down from 2k. This set now has a perfect version, which also grants up to 77 magic and stamina recovery. It's a sword and board thingy. You can totally neglect this. I don't think it's a big deal whether you have it or not. Now the Bow Founder's Volley. This set now increases the damage done of your volley by 430 and increases by 143 per tick, up from 320 and increasing by 110. So they actually, I mean, the kinda boosted it, but this set now stacks up to a maximum of 8 times rather than continuously stacking. So it doesn't stack that high anymore. We will see how that impacts it. It's probably gonna stay around the same, I would guess. We will see. The perfected bonus, once again, if you don't have it, whatever. So most people were complaining about having to refarm like the destruction stuff for the bow, but it's not really a big deal if you don't have the perfect version. Sure, doesn't feel great if you don't have the perfect version, but you don't really lose power because you backbar these sets, and on the backbar, that's like you're only a very short amount of time on the backbar on builds, so this will not be active much anyway. Another thing I want to mention, the Asylum weapons. They also changed them a little bit, so now like the unique bonus is the same on the perfect and imperfect, and then they have like the extra bonus on the perfect one. And concentrated force, especially important for mech DKs that use like the Asylum stuff, cheese builds. The perfect version of this set no longer has unique value and instead grants up to 100 free spell damage. Nice. Fix an issue where this set was allowing each elemental attack to proc its respective status for a short duration after reaching the proc condition, rather than immediately applying each elemental status effect listed. So this here got fixed, and let's actually see, because people... Asylum weapons... Destruction. So you can see here, they actually nerfed this. It's not gonna be as useful, as good anymore as it used to be with the Magic DK cheese. The perfected version on the live server right now gives like every second cast of Force Shock will apply. So now the perfect in the new chapter will be every third cast. So it's quite a big boy nerf, and the fix on top of that. Can throw it in the garbage. Not exactly, but you see the point. It's not as good anymore as it used to be. That's a big boy change. There's a few other things. I will link these notes in the description anyway. I will do more videos about that stuff. We don't exactly know. Like, there's a few more changes. I especially want to test out the Titanic Cleave I actually want to see how high I can get the damage. I'm sure you can reach like 200k or something. It's gonna be insane. Sure, you need to hit 24 targets, which not will always be the case, but previously it was capped to 6. So you couldn't go, like it wouldn't do more damage, and now that cap is gone. Even in PvE, that's gonna be crazy. When you're grinding, farming, like in Skyreach for example, I think you can one-shot the whole, like, if there's like 20 monsters, you're gonna one-shot all of them at once. It's like, kinda nuts. But we will see. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about these changes. And once again, if you have feedback, you're testing out stuff, make sure to use the feedback tool in the game. Complaining on the forum, nobody reads that shit, okay? It's not going anywhere. If you use the feedback tool in the game, it will go to the person that is actually responsible for that issue. Feedback or bug, whatever. Very important. So anyway, I will upload more videos to showcase also the new features and so on. There's still a lot of unanswered questions. But again, if you don't have the perfect version, not that big of a deal in my opinion. Just on some sets, which it's like a nice to have bonus. But yeah, it's still kind of shitty that we have to regrind it as veteran. Overall, it will be easier accessible to new players, so I think that's a good thing. So I think the change overall is nice, just a little bit of low ball kick about not upgrading the vet versions. But anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Cheers.